Hey, what's up, people? It's your boy Dread from 4UMF.com. Right now, we have a legend on the line for everybody to hear. Eric B. Eric B, what's up?
What's happening, Dread? How you feeling?
Okay, how you feeling?
I'm still alive by the grace of Allah. I'm good.
Okay. I seen a few things going on, you know.
Okay.
For the people who didn't know, one of the albums, Eric B and Rakim, being re-released. Can you tell the people about that and why?
Well, I don't know anything about that. That's number one. I know it's the 25th anniversary. You know, Universal does whatever they feel like doing whenever they feel like doing it. So let's be clear about that. It's the 25th anniversary of Paid in Full. July 7th will be 25 years since we released Paid in Full. So maybe that's what they're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems like it's a classic, and you know, everybody was just asking. That's something different. I actually thought you had some part of that. Also, though, I see you got some things going on in the near future. I see you doing a couple of TV things. Can you tell the people about that?
Yeah, I got a TV show. It's called Ghetto Court. We got 25 episodes already shot in the can.
Okay.
This summer we're looking to shoot another 220.
Okay. Can you tell people the idea of the actual show? Because I was told it's sort of like People's Court, but with a ghetto spin.
Exactly. It's like, you know, when we were touring, we used to always just start laughing and talking about, like, say somebody did something earlier. The first thing come out of our mouth is, we got to take you to court. So now, you know, I took that idea of, you know, people and things you want to take to court. You know, we have some actual court cases that are on dockets in different municipalities. And then we turn around and take those cases, and we take them into my courtroom.
Okay. I heard that everything's shot in Jersey. Yeah, being that you're from New York, you probably seen a whole bunch of different type of things in that arena as far as the courtroom. Do you have any actual judge experience or legal experience, or is this just Eric B's just good common sense?
Well, you know, actually, you made a great point. It is common sense, and we have to remember, judges are appointed. Judges are not. You can't go to school. You could be a lawyer, and then you still have to be appointed to be a judge. So you know what I'm saying. So it's more of an appointment. Yes, you do. You know, in most cases, in most cases, not in all cases, there's different municipalities where people are actually not judges, but they'll sit you down, more as mediators. They're more mediators than they are actual judges, but they call them judges. So, it's just like you said from the beginning, it's basic common sense, basic common sense stuff that you have to apply.
Being a dad, Father's Day coming up and stuff, I used to say common sense, but I realized if it was common, everybody would have it, so I call it rare sense, What are your plans for Father's Day weekend? You got any big plans coming up?
I told the kids, and they laugh at me. I told them, I said, my Father's Day present, let me sit on the couch and don't say nothing to me. They said, Dad, that's not cool, Dad. I said, yes, it is. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool and exciting. I really do. So,
yeah, break. It's your day.
Yeah, they didn't like that conversation too good. That one didn't fly too good.
Well, your dad, you can get away with it for the day. I'm gonna try it though. It might not work with me either, but I'm gonna try it though.
No, it's not gonna work. Trust me. I said don't say hello, don't say good morning, don't say anything.
Yeah, definitely not good.
That don't fly too good.
Well,
I tried though.
Let me ask you another question, though. Doing some research, some of our writers found that you did a previous interview saying that you was talking with Dougie Fresh somewhere and talking about possibly ever doing like a reunion tour, like the greats, because you guys got some classics, You ever thought about actually trying to do a tour together? Or
that was Dougie Fresh's idea. Actually, Dougie Fresh has made history twice, as far as I'm concerned. He's really responsible, for the Paid in Full album. Doug is really responsible for the Paid in Full album. When we did Paid in Full, every record on there I took to Doug's house, and it was pretty funny. Me and Doug laugh about it all the time. And he doesn't tell a story. I tell a story. Doug really doesn't want to tell a story, but I tell it because it's the truth. Every record on there, there was some kind of controversy. People were thinking, Marley Marl did the record since he was a producer, da-da-da-da-da. But all the records on there, actually, I did them myself. I took them to Dougie Fresh's house before we actually recorded them. And I sat there with Doug, and I said, Doug, I got an idea. And Doug, and who better to bring him to than Dougie Fresh? He was on fire with Lottie Dottie in the show, one of the greatest entertainers, on a stage, whether it's rap or whether it's R&B. Dougie Fresh hasn't had a record in, 15, 20 years, and he's one of the most dangerous guys on the stage. So,
yeah.
So for me, being able to be in Doug's presence and talk to him and pick his brain about records and music and understanding, I used to go by Doug's house. My mother had moved to Harlem, and I used to go stay with my mother in Harlem, and I go over to Dougie Fresh's house, and I said, Doug, I got an idea. I said, I'm going to take this record and fuse them together and Doug I'll never forget what he used to say. All right, Hops, we'll see. All right, Hops, we'll see, Hops. It sounds pretty interesting, Hops. We're going to see how you're going to pull this off. And then when I did it and pulled it off, Doug said, I don't know, Hops. I thought you couldn't pull it off, but you did. It's kind of hot. And me and Doug laugh about it, right now. But he's single-handedly, responsible for the direction of it and me being on the right track. Because, let's be honest, I've never made a record before. Being a fine connoisseur and loving music and stuff, loving it and living it and making it, are three different
things. Yeah, of course.
So, I think Dougie Fresh really is responsible for our direction and being able to say, this is what it is.
Being that you just made a valid point. You didn't make any beats before that, but you came out straight fire. You were the Dr. Dre before. Well, I wouldn't say before Dr. Dre, but you was the Dr. Dre in New York.
Yeah.
Why didn't you continue just going ahead and produce it and dropping those beats? Because at one point,
because at the end of the day, I had a bunch of duties. I did all the business for Eric B and Rakim, did the promotions, put the records together. So I had more on my hands. And then trying to do other projects. Like we had other guys in the studio, Freddie Fox. Nas started out in our studio working, doing his first records. So we had so many different people and so many different things going on, and me and Rakim had a conversation, yo, Eric, we got to stick to our day job and what we're doing and stay focused. So, and stay on the course. So that's what I did. But there were so many different talented people, coming through our studios and working around us and being around us. But, sometimes you have to stick to your day job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really did. I stuck to my day job and what really pays the bills. So I had to, instead of doing this, that, the other thing, I had to stay, focused with Eric B and Rakim. And I think sometimes, you second guess yourself, was it the right thing? Now I find out it is the right thing, because if I would have spread myself thin and did a whole bunch of other stuff, it might not have worked out too good.
Yeah, but. Yeah. Well, for as music is from then till now, what's the difference to you? And I know time is one of it, but why would it be another reason?
Oh, the difference? I mean, new sounds, new equipment, new people, fresh new voices, fresh new sounds. I mean, it's a bunch of things. I think for the consumer, this is one of the greatest times in rap. If you like what they consider, older generation rap or old school rap, what people call it, which I don't like the name, but it is what it is. You know, if you like old school rap, if you like electronic rap, if you like this, that, this is the greatest time for a consumer. But the most important thing that I love about rap music now is the connection that you can sit in the car, you know, with your kids, and y'all both listen to the same channel, and now it's an open dialogue, and you can talk. When I rode with my parents, you know, they listened to Marvin Gaye, you know, they listened to Al Green. We were forced to listen to that.
Oh, with the cutoff.
Not saying it wasn't great music. Don't get me wrong. It's some of the greatest music that withstood the test of time right now. But we had no connection. There was no connection. Now you can come home and a Lil Wayne song is playing, and I know the song, they know the song, and you know, and we can talk about it. I think it's the greatest thing. You know, I think it's the greatest thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, Eric, you know, when you made music, it's not the same." Things don't stay the same. It's either they get worse or they get better. And I think rap has gotten better. I think some of the other guys that have been shut out the market for years, some of the country guys that were, you know, from down south guys that were shut out the market, now they're getting ready. You know, they're getting shine, and they're able to go in, you know, and make a career in a living. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing. And, you know, rap has done a lot of great things for a lot of people.
Yeah, I remember one time I seen an interview with Naughty by Nature Tretch, and he said, if I wasn't rapping, I'd be in the living room right now. And I don't think people got what he was saying, but I totally understood it. It took a lot of people off the streets, and it gave them a goal, and it gave them a career, and it gave them an opportunity they wouldn't have unless they were doing something illegal or something just straight wrong.
So, exactly.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you, though, what do you feel about, like, if you had to pick two artists right now, what do you feel would be your two ideal artists right now that you would put the Eric B stamp on that's out right now?
I mean, I don't think there's a bunch. I think there's the Jay-Z and your Nas. That's my number 1 and 2, and not necessarily in that order. You know, and I think these guys, and the reason why they've withstood the test of time, they're still viable, and they're stronger than ever. And they're some of the most respected guys in rap, and we all came up in, you know, in the same era.
You mentioned Nas before, too. Nas being in the studio, do you think that, I mean, it had to, but do you think did it have a positive effect or a good effect, especially on that first album? Because his first album is a classic. So if he had anything coming through that studio with that album, do you think that helped and guided him in a certain way, too?
You know what? You know, with a guy like Nas, I mean, he was destined, you know, to be great. So, you know, you would hope that what we did was an inspiration to him, you know, but the kid had it from day one. So for me to sit here and say, you know, we was his guiding light and this and that, you know, I think that'd be pretty disrespectful to the kid, because when he came in, he had a vision, he had a goal, you know what I'm saying, and he just had to get somebody to believe in it. So you know what I'm saying, you'd have to ask him, you know, how much of an impact on it that it made to him. And maybe, you know, he may say little or none or a whole lot. And even if he said little or none, it's still not a disrespect to us, because we had our own vision too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, as far as people trying to come up, because see, back when we were younger and people were trying to get into the rap game, it was a limited few. You know, I was in the studio with a few people right after your time, and I remember not being a million people. It might be 5 or 10. It wasn't like a big party of 30 or 40. And since the times have changed, it's like everybody's rapping now. What would you tell some upcoming people that are trying to get into a game that's really like overpopulated right now?
That's not, you know what, it really isn't overpopulated, because at the end of the day, you got to look at all the teams that are out there. Like, let's say football. Football has, 50, 55 people on the roster, and all it is the cream of the crop always rises to the top. So at the end of the day, you know, you could be sitting around the house today and then be on the Grammys next year. Yeah. So I think that the people will speak and let you know if you're good or not.
Okay, how would a person who's unsigned go about trying to get themselves out? Because how big do you think social media plays a part of that these days? I mean, Jermaine Dupri signed someone off YouTube. Justin Bieber was picked up off YouTube. How big do you think the social medias are and influential in them getting picked up and being seen?
But it's like anything else. You have to really. I mean, you can find something on YouTube that's exciting that people are tuned into, and then you get it and put it out, and people don't buy it. So it's like rolling dice. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to Vegas. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really, when it comes to the social media sites and stuff like that, it's giving people different avenues. It's another avenue for somebody else to be picked up and be recognized, and I love it. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You still gotta get in and make that hit record and make people that loved you on just glancing at your videos. Now they have to go out and buy it. It's a whole different animal. Getting it for free, and copping it is. And you know what I'm saying? It's something totally different.
Well, I only got two questions left for you. One thing, I realized that all of the labels when we were younger, especially, I remember DOS Effects era. I remember two labels that a friend of mine was actually shopping himself to. And the label actually told him, well, we're looking for more like a DOS Effects type of sound, So, if you can do that kind of sound, then, but these days, they want you to come fully prepared. Like, they want you to already have your radio spins up. They already want you to be banging in your local area. Then they want you to be known outside of your local area and doing some shows. So, so making your own following.
But that goes to show you who's behind the wheel at the record companies, because there's no artist development, there's no A&R department. Why call it an A&R department if y'all not going to get an artist and develop them? You know what I'm saying? There's no artist development anymore. They damn near want you to be, selling 1 million records before you even come to them. Why do I need you if I'm already selling records and I'm already in? But the record companies, what they're doing is sealing their own fate, because somebody's going to wake up and go back and say, why are we keep going to them to give them, a part of what we're doing, and we're already hot?
Yeah, because that's another thing I was about to talk about. What do you think is better, going to the independent, the bigger labels for being distributed, or just independent? Because a lot of the independent people I talk about, or even, I don't know if you know Yo Gotti, just one of many. Like, he's getting paid to do shows all the time. He pretty much drops mixtapes. I think he just had an album dropped not too long ago, but he stays heavy with those. Like you said, it's pretty much a big deal. It's easy to get it for free. It's a big deal to get it sold. But the way things work now, if you got a few mixtapes and your stuff and your paperwork is right, you're getting paid for your spins on the radio. You're going to get requests to be at some clubs, so you're going to get some money for doing your performances. So really, why do you need, the bigger label? So
let me tell you why you need the big label. It's it's a double-edged sword. You need the big label, so when you go to radio, you got muscle at radio. When you go to video, you got muscle at video. What they're going to do is say, oh, these are the new Universal records, or these are the independent. We're going to stick with Universal, because Universal is going to advertise on our station, buy ads in our magazines. They're going to buy commercials, with us. So we're going to stick with the major. It's the smaller guy. It's the smaller guy, and it's great. Like now I have an album. I have an album that I did, international album with trance music on it. I did one, a dubstep album. Now, internationally, when I go internationally with that big major name, now it means something. You can't, you know what I'm saying? So in certain instances, it works. You know what I'm saying? Some instances it don't. Like if you're like, what's the kid's name? Not 9mm. I forgot the kid's name, but he's and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. And it's like, some of these guys have been underground so long, and they're viable. You know what I'm saying? And they're viable. But 2 Chainz was in another group before, so that's not great, analogy. He was in another group, and I forgot the name of the group he was in. He didn't just 2 Chainz and just wake up yesterday, and and he was hot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's better. He's better this time around. You know what I'm saying? And more recognizable than he was before. And and I like exactly what he's doing. He changes his flow.
Change his name.
Yeah. Because I forgot what he was before. What his name was.
Titty Boy. That name make me laugh every time. But Titty Boy. But 2 Chainz, though, I mean, like, I get what you're saying, though, because, like, right now the way things work is you can work it for yourself, but if you really want to get that pop, that chance to go, the distance, you're going to have to get a distributor to push you overseas, to push you worldwide.
No, it's just not even to push you. It's that name, the name recognition. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's just the name recognition. When you say, you go overseas and say, hey, I'm with EMI, I'm with Universal, I'm with this, I'm with that, they open the door. Oh, come on, right on in.
Okay.
I'm with 12th Street Records. Where's that? What? Who? Why? Where's that located? Where's that located at? You know what I'm saying? So now you have more of a dialogue coming in the door. So when I come in now, if somebody calls on the phone, hey, I got a record by Universal. I got this new kid. This Universal. Bring it down. We sit down and hear it. Now, now 12th Street Records is called who? What?
Okay.
Man, send them to the voicemail. Now 12th Street Records has to call about 30, 40 times. Yo, I got an artist. Well, let me email me the artist. Tell me, what it is, and then then we'll go from there. Okay.
So it's about the backing then. So basically, the label backing you give you the red carpet treatment.
Exactly, in different instances, and sometimes it hurts you. So like I said, it's a double-edged sword.
So it's less of the pie, but more name recognition.
Yeah. So it's like when you get on a major, and I tell people all the time, you got to use them for what it's worth and what it is. You can't continue to cry, yo, the label ain't doing nothing for me. You gotta invest into yourself. When we started, there was no radio for us. There was no TV for us. There was no video outlet for us to play videos.
You were doing street promotion. Yeah, you were doing street promotion.
And what we was doing was going city to city, state to state, shaking hands and making friends in all of these places, and the different friends that I've had probably for the last 25 years, and still talk to them. And you still, you got to go out and promote yourself. You can't use the record company as an excuse anymore. If you're out doing promotions and you're out doing shows, you have to reinvest into your own career. You can't allow the company and saying they're not doing this for me, they're not doing that for me. It's like a basketball player. I gave you the uniform, I gave you the sneakers, I gave you the avenue. You got to do what you got to do on that court. I can't get on the court and make 3-pointers for you. You got to go to the hole. You got to make something out of it. You got to make plays. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got that big machine. You got to know how to use the machine. And that's why I tell everybody can't be a manager. A manager is more than just picking up the phone and saying yes and no. You got to go out and know exactly what you're doing.
A lot of people mess that up too, Eric. A lot of people that I know, they'll hire their friend or they'll hire some homie, and that stuff really doesn't work out. I've had more missed appointments and everything like that dealing with an artist or an actor that has someone they know is their manager.
Exactly. Yeah, but let me tell you, when you realize that you have a problem, when you call somebody's manager phone and the phone says, this voicemail is full, we got a problem. Because it's not serious. It's not business. It's not business. How can you your job is not to duck calls for me. Your job is to take, whether you think it's bullshit, whether you think it's not your job to think that. It's your job to follow through every lead, meet with everybody. It's not your job to pick and choose who you feel like meeting with. You meet with everybody, you talk to everybody, and you move on. One of the lawyers I know, I went to his memorial the other day, Paul Marshall, and Clive Davis got up and spoke, and Clive Davis talked about how Paul Marshall taught his son a bunch of things, and he said, he told my son, when people call you, return everybody's calls. Never not return people's calls, because you never know what it's about. Return everyone's calls. And it's so important. You can't have a manager that thinks he's big, that he thinks he's bigger than the artist, and thinks that he can't. He knows more than you, and he don't want to answer calls, and that person's full of it, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. You can't do that. You have to chase down every lead as a manager, even if it. Okay.
Yeah. But even though with that stuff being said, it's just that I realized, like, the younger the artist, it's like, the looser they get with some things. I've seen even we used to work with HipHopHoney.com, models all day, and they would be great. I would see some of them really strive, make some great moves, and I try to guide them into, like, getting out of, like, booty shots and trying to get them into movies or something, and they couldn't understand the transition. And I'm like, this is out. You have to learn how to extend yourself. So you want to be long-term. You want to be relevant. Like you were going back to what you said about Nas and Jay-Z. You want to be relevant, and not for a model, but you want to be relevant 20 years. You want people to still talk about you. And, you're opening up new doors and new markets for yourself. Because the way most rappers work now, their career, there was one that I seen, he must have been 18, 19. Warner Brothers just signed him for, like, some kind of production deal. No one knew who he was. And they wrote an article like he was big in his area and stuff. And I'm still like, who is he? And that's the way music is these days to me. It's not about having the talent so much anymore. They just kind of move a little different. I think back when we were younger, I think it was more focused on talent and the business was second. But, I mean, that's better now. The business is first, but still, sometimes I think we lack some of the talent that we had from the earlier days, because I like Chuck D, like there were other opportunities for people. Like you didn't just have just hardcore street rap. That was beautiful. That was something I wanted to hear the majority of the time. While it was great to hear like Chuck D or KRS-One who can give you diversity, and right now it's just all in one lane. It's really switched up. Because I was telling someone recently, I said, hip-hop and rap are not, it's just music now. It's not, because you got people singing all the time, and you have different sounds, like a lot of guitar strings and stuff like that, which is great, because then it gives you that bond, like you said, between the being in the car with your kids and stuff like that, yeah. But it's just something about it where there's still an area that's missing where, like I said, the Chuck D era, the Poor Righteous Teachers and things like that. It's just, it's more, it's not so, the whole has gotten smaller when it comes to, like, what's being put out. So.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a great time for rap. I think everybody, the figures that they run up, more money than we all thought that we'd ever see. And I just think it's a great thing, man. I think we should, all applaud, everybody else, the Waynes, the Drakes, your 2 Chainz, your Waka Flocka, all of those guys.
Shout outs to Waka too. We did an interview with him not too long ago. But the one thing that I wanted to ask you, for all the people who are just fans of music, want to know about, Ghetto Court, want to keep up with you, where can they get up with you online?
You can go to ericbandrakim.com. You can go on Twitter, at Eric B, ERICB, not ERICK, ERICB, at Eric B. It's pretty simple.
Okay. And I think, are you on Facebook too?
No, I don't do Facebook. We have a page, but I don't even know the page. I think we use Ghetto Court. I'm on the Ghetto Court page most of the time.
You sound like Bobby. When I talked to Bobby Brown not too long ago, he said the same thing. I don't mess with Facebook.
Nah, Facebook, there's too many horror stories, man. There's too many horror stories. He said, she said, and they said, and we said, and I thought you said, and this person was on there. And my friends got too many horror stories. I'm good.
You know what's crazy? I said Facebook was cool until your old auntie or your grandmother got on it. Now it's just like it's becoming MySpace, but people don't get it. They'll figure it out later.
No. Facebook is so funny. People get on there and say all kind of stupid stuff. Then they realize, what? Who said what? Yo, I gotta find out who said that. Now they're not gonna they're not talking about what they said. They said they got to find out who said that, who told on them, so they could block them.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is crazy. You know what? They'll post out a comment. This lady posted out a comment about her kids wanting all these expensive items, and she's only 11, and she got to wear Versace. I was like, well, you got to control your child. You're the one that spends the money. Like, I just left a comment on it. She said, who asked your opinion? And she cursed me out and everything. And I was like, man, you posted that. I didn't ask you about it, you know. And
exactly.
That's the whole thing that's crazy about Facebook, you know. But people don't get it. These are great tools. I think everybody should. I mean, for their business ventures, they should be a part of Facebook and part of Twitter and Tumblr, you know. And even Google Plus. They're great tools, but use them. You know, it's like I tell people, if you're going to put your shoes on, you don't grab a hammer. You know, you got to use the right tool for the right job, and just tools. They're not for you to get up there and talk about somebody else's business or talk about your own business, not about personal stuff, you know, and people took it entirely too far. You know, you can't be buying stocks in what you did for free last week, you know. If you were able to walk in the park, now you're going to start paying $20 to walk in the park, and you're going to smile like, yeah, I just paid $20. That doesn't make any sense, you know. So, but people, like I said, people will catch on to it later. But do you know when the show's going to be aired? It's going to be released?
September. Looks like September.
Okay, guys. So everybody, Eric B, he's not playing. He's being the judge, not the jury. You guys get to watch it. Ghetto Court. What's the network again?
Oh, they working on that now. I got a bunch of networks. I got the paperwork and contracts. Now there's a bunch of networks. You'll be able to find it. We'll do a press release and stuff.
Okay. So options. That's good though. Options is good.
Yeah, you know what it is, man. Me and Nas laugh all the time, and we say the same thing. Life is good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. I'm not upset. You know, I'm having a great time, and I appreciate people's support, and I appreciate your time and and effort to give me a call and do this.
Yeah, and we're gonna make sure to show up at the courthouse and try to get some footage too.
Exactly. We're at Roselle, New Jersey courthouse. Courthouse in Roselle, New Jersey. So we'll be there all summer filming, and having a good time.
Oh, that's good to know then. I'm gonna be in New York half of the summer. I'm gonna be having my first. I'm gonna announce it on the air just with you. I'm gonna have my first son, so I'm gonna be.
That's great. That's
great.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, man.
That's a blessing. What are you gonna name him?
Actually, something from the Bible. I don't want to say no names yet, but we gotta throw it.
Okay.
It's between 2 and 3, but it's definitely from the Bible. There was a part when God they sent these people. I forgot, they sent 2 or 3 people out to find out if they were gonna. I don't remember the exact story too. That's shameful. But it was 2 or 3 people they sent out to see if one group of people were going to be able to defeat another, or they sent a few out, and 1 or 2 of them came back and said that they were going to be able. God talked to them and said they were going to be able to be victorious, but everybody else said no, they're too big and they'll beat us. So I think that's what the Israelites, and God let them. I think God let them roam for those years, those crazy amount of years, because they didn't listen to those 2 people who had heard from God. And one of their names is what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Because when I actually got the sonogram, he was praying. He had his hands in prayer motion. It's beautiful.
That's a great thing.
Yeah. So back to you. You guys, you're going to be coming out in September. Ghetto Court. You guys definitely look out for that. Like Eric says, a bunch of different networks, so you'll hear it when it's press time. But I'm sure that'll be coming up shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely get up with them on Twitter and get up with them on Facebook. And you heard it first, too. We had nothing to do with that release of the re-release of Eric B for President, but it's definitely going to be out. You guys, it's a classic. There's not too many classics in my mind. Snoop's first album, First Chronic, then it would have to be Eric B for President. I'm not naming it in no orders. I'm just trying to, like you said, I'm just naming the ones that Yeah.
The paid in full album. Well, there's a lot. 50 Cent, Get Rich and Die Trying.
Oh yes. Nas' first album.
Nas' first album. Jay-Z's first album.
Slick Rick's first album.
Yeah, there's a bunch out there.
Yeah, definitely. Like there was a top 10. You guys would definitely be in it. I think I remember a show when Rakim was honored. I think. I'm not sure, but if not, he definitely needs to be.
You're talking about the Hip Hop Honors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys need.
I didn't go to that.
For any particular reason?
Because it just didn't make any sense. I mean, the order in which they honored people didn't make any sense, and it was just about the money. And I'm not knocking their hustle. It's about everything in this business is about the money, but I don't have to be a part of it if I'm not sharing in the money. One thing about me, I didn't get into this business to be a star. I got into this business to make money and get out the streets. So you can't dangle. You're going to be on TV, and this is good for you, and there's no financial windfall for me on it. So I sat it out because I asked when it was being done. The only thing to me that means anything in this business as far as accolades is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has their criteria is 25 years after your first release, and what have you done to change the face of music? And when you ask the people at the hip hop honors that, they're sitting there heeing and hawing, and and it's about the money for them. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at anybody making money. I'm just mad that they don't cut me in. So
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just sit this one out. It's cool. People want to, keep going along with it. I'm not going along with it because I don't have to. I'm not in this business, to be a star. I'm in this business to make money. And, there's a few things that people do. I'll sit them out. I'm good. I'm gonna sit this one out.
I really respect you after this call. I was told you was a very intelligent and smart man. And I was like, yeah, that's what I heard too. But, I mean, after speaking to you, different respect, Real different respect.
I appreciate that.
Most people that's in this game is in for a totally different reason, and when they in for the money, they kind of all the way in. And, the media or rumors will portray something a certain way, and usually, I'm a part of the media. But usually what we try to do is correct. Like, we'll give you a rumor if that's what's out there, but it's a rumor. But I love to give the truth. God knows I love giving the truth.
Yeah.
Because it comes across so clear.
And it's like you don't knock people for their hustle. You knock them when they not cutting you in. You know what I'm saying? And there's no real, you ask them about it. There's no continuity to the show. It's just all over the place. What is because I asked them, I said, what is your process in which you select who's going to be on? Like, they told me, they said, well, Eric, this is what we do. We get a bunch of college students and we put a bunch of names up there, and they come back with their top 10 names, and then we take their top 10 names and make them come back with 5 out of their top 10. What? I said, all right. I said, I'm good, dog. I said, I'm good, man. I said, don't worry about it. I'm good. No, Eric, up until hours before the show started, they tried to get me to go, and I wouldn't go. I said, yo, Eric, this will be good for you. Oh, no, this is the lie they always, we're going to make a tour out of this. Okay. Yeah, okay. I said, they forgot that I talk and deal with everybody. They told Melly Mel and them this. They told everybody this. It's going to be a tour. I haven't seen a hip-hop honors tour yet. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You can't tell me that the George Washington Bridge is for sale and you hold the deed to it and I'm gonna buy it. It doesn't work like that, man. It is. I mean, these guys, they're making a lot of money from it, and I'm not knocking none of the guys, and I know them all by name. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, at this point in time, it's not about knocking them. I'm happy for them, but I'm just mad they didn't cut me in. So I ain't got to be a part of it. So
if you're not a part of the pie, you can't say it tastes good.
Exactly. Malcolm X said it best. He said, I see a plate in front of me, but if you don't put anything on the plate, you can't call me a diner unless you let me eat. I mean, it's the same thing. And I'm just saying, you can't come in there and say, oh, Eric's at dinner with us. At dinner with us? Yeah, ain't nothing on my plate. So, and this award ceremony, the only thing that really matters, you know, and the way they put it together is, to me, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, this is an award they put together of your peers. You know, everybody that's on the board are past or present musicians, and, you know, they sit there and, you know, and figure it out. You know, this year the Beastie Boys went in which they deserve to be in. And, you know, next year or the year after, you know, we'll go in. You know, either LL will go in. I don't know why he didn't go in last year, what happened. But either LL will go in, we'll go in the year after LL. So, you know.
One thing I realized, though, when you said LL, when you have a lot of controversy in, they don't really give you, like, they'll kind of pass you over. They don't give a damn what you sold. They don't give it, none of that matters. Like, he had that controversy in the news. They said, well, wait, you know. Even,
and it's funny. It's funny that you said that, and they did it to Kiss. Gene Simmons talked Q and said, man, yo, I think they've been on the ballot for like 9 years straight, or something happened, and then Gene Simmons said something slick. They said, okay, we got something for you, and took him right off the ballot and said they don't have to worry about being back on. And you're right. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is not playing with people.
I seen the music, the Grammys, I think, this year, when they had the Beach Boys come out, and I'm looking like, what are these people? They're not really doing too many concerts and shows. I know they sold a lot back in the days. I'm not saying that.
No. They still touring. One thing about these guys, you can't discount them. The greatest thing about them, you know, is they tour. They tour when they want to tour. And the thing about it is, what's been happening lately, you know, they got a tour out on the road now. It's Guy, SWV, Dougie Fresh is the host, and Keith Sweat. And tours like that, you really don't see them. And I think that everybody should go out and support these kind of tours because, you know, black artists, you know, are really struggling to play these big venues again. And I think it's a great show. And, you know, we just got to go out, support each other, and see these kind of shows. It's a great evening out. It's a safe evening out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we have to do it. Just like you said, the Beach Boys and all these other rock and roll bands, they don't never come off the road.
Yeah.
They go back and go to Hawaii and stay out there for the next 5 years, and they get a call, man, don't y'all want to go on tour? All right, come on, fuck it, we out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm happy when I see, you know, people like SWV and Guy and, you know, and all of these people back out on the road. I feel good about it. And, you know, and Dougie Fresh, you know,